Data analytics gives you the advantage of getting to answer questions in a faster time. In esports, you have a topic where all those technologies can be applied with an actual great purpose.
Well, I don't think any of our analysts could have predicted that last game was going to go quite like that, but now they're going to be charged with the task of breaking down exactly what did happen. My name is Rich. I'm going to be your host. I'm joined by Nahaz and Lacoste, who are going to be going on a journey with us to figure out what happened in that last game. And, you know, I think we could make a list of things that were positive and then a list of things that were negative, pros and cons list, if you will. I feel like in the pros list, we would definitely put, well, I guess that's a little bit tricky, right? It's pros list for one team,
Fun
cons
to
list for another.
watch. You don't know what's going to happen next, so unpredictable. That's all I can think of.
I like that.
Yeah,
positive
there we go.
spin.
There
Well,
we
what
go.
about Ice on his timber? All right.
Positive for him.
This is what we
Positive.
call clown fiesta.
Yeah, I've heard of those. I've heard of those. But Timbersaw, why would you let Ice get the Timbersaw?
I mean, we all saw it coming. We started talking about it probably earlier. We talked about it in the open and earlier than halfway in the draft. And he was dominant, man. I mean, that was he had a pre-9-minute Tier 2 tower on the bottom lane. As you see him already playing behind that tower right now, it's going to go down. That's the second fastest Tier 2 tower kill in the tournament. Only Alliance with a mid-Nature's Prophet had one faster. And he was just off to the races, played 90% of the time on the dire side of the map. And that brings him to 71-40 in his career on Timbersaw. No other player has more than 23 wins on the hero.
And he was looking invincible until Kyle said he looked unkillable. And then he died 20 seconds after that. Yeah. But ultimately, early on, this Timbersaw is just able to do everything that he needs to do.
This is a good chrono that MP landed, and I think there was a one in the end. Other than that, he played so poorly, man.
Oh.
His movement around the map between the camps, he jumps on a creep camp, and there are no creeps there. Checks the Roche, goes back. There's no creeps again. Then he was at the bottom part of the network chart.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't like to call out individual players, but our job as an analyst is to tell you what happened in the game. And this was a brutal performance by MP. You had a Timbersaw creating incredible amounts of space for him. I mean, he basically didn't leave the dire side of the map. And at the 45-minute mark, MP was bottom half of the net worth chart. For a brief period of time between 45 and 50 minutes, he was actually behind the 4-position Tiny in farm. And as Lacoste said, the Chronospheres, I mean, really what he needed to do in so many of these fights was just catch PA or Puck +1 in his Chronos. And you really only saw that happen one time all game.
Yeah, I feel like Nahaz made it at least very aware to us on this desk before we did go live, just how upset he was with what we saw from that player. And my question is how do we actually go about remedying this? Because the game just ends up dragging on so long. Does that start to open up chances for J.Storm to maybe grab a win?
Sure. I mean, DDPA.
Yeah, that needs to be
But look at this,
reworked.
right? It's not just the lack of hitting the multiple enemy heroes. It's that chrono and then one by the Radiant Shrine in the top jungle where he catches Timber and he catches OD in the side of the chrono with only one enemy hero. Those are the heroes that you need on the outside dumping damage in. That's how that draft is supposed to function.
So, do we just avoid this hero?
Yeah. It's not the hero problem. It's the whole concept of how this game should have been played from their perspective, especially when they draft. Like, they end up with a draft that can't do anything. There's no way you're initiating the fight. Half of the game they've spent in their own base. And I'm going to call out Void again. They took 6 towers at, what, 15-minute mark? He was still under-farmed.
Yeah, I mean, they had a tower. They had a 3-tower advantage at least for basically the entire game. I mean, and I don't even know. You have initiation with the Tiny throwbacks. I mean, DJ was roaming around the map with a Shadow Blade making plays. He did give away a couple of deaths, but again, when you draft this hero, that's, you know, you've asked me about this hero a couple times, Rich, and when you draft Void, you are playing around the Chronosphere. That's just what all Void lineups do.
Yeah, and now, before we went live, you said that you were ready to throw down a diss track on him. So, I know you said you didn't want to freestyle.
No, I am not going to freestyle because it would get very ugly very quickly.
You know, tonight is our night off.
Yeah, I like him. I like MP.
Yeah. Stay posted to Nahaz's Twitter. We might get a diss track a little bit later on tonight. But I want to talk about J.Storm because J.Storm, I think it was at the very end of their draft, Lacoste, you go, this draft does not look very good to me. And ultimately, was that their biggest problem? Is this just two lineups that you don't like how they function?
I'm not sure how you end up with a lineup like this. Like there's no synergy. You 10th pick the Void and give them Timbersaw. It's just not acceptable at this point. And I think Fnatic could have closed out this game, but they had the issue with not having any building damage. Even in the super late game, when they were trying to siege, Timbersaw just buying time. Faceless Void hit the melee racks for like 40 times to get it. And just insane.
Yeah. During the cast, too, you even heard Kyle agreeing with what you said, Lacoste, and you've said it many times here, and it's the idea of having the Grimstroke and not having that single target ability either. So there are a lot of things on both ends that we could potentially fix.
Here's the bright spot, though. We did talk about Bryle needing to step up his game and play with Abed, and you really saw that early. I mean, he got a kill on Abed 1v1 mid where he's flat out outplayed Puck against OD. He does end up tying for the game lead in kills. He has the look top hero damage. I mean,
Bryle played amazing in this game considering all the circumstances.
But when I look at that last graphic, and if I read it correctly, the top 3 heroes and hero damage were all on the side that lost, and that's a draft problem.
Okay. All right. So we saw a bunch of draft problems. We're going to be getting into our next draft here shortly, and it's just pretty bonkers to me that we get to that 53-minute game.
That last graphic, right? The top siege damage, the top tower damage on the side of J.Storm was PA with 300. That's
they did not cross the river.
Of the tier 1 tower. Yeah.
And we still get all the way to 53 minutes in this game, or in that previous game. But oh my goodness, what?
If I had $1 for every mistake they made in the previous game, I would be a millionaire.
What? What?
And the Grimstroke opening again. I don't mind Grimstroke. I said it a couple of times already. I just I don't think. I know you need to have some targeted spells that you can combine the Grimstroke with.
Yeah, I just don't understand. You have to, again, and I think that's why we've seen statistically this hero fall off at the minor in this event, is that it does demand that you draft around it. You have to use Soulbind somehow. And this, to me, this is the 2-hero open that I thought we were going to see Fnatic go with the last game. They went with the Tiny in place of the Earth Spirit in game 1 just because that Tiny has a little flex value. But I think at this point, you're confident enough in your level of play relative to the opponent that, yeah, we're going to pick 2 top-tier supports and DJ, maybe not the best Earth Spirit in the world, but definitely top 5.
But you were asking for that Earth Spirit. Now we are going to see you're asking for it in the previous draft. Main thing we're looking for J.Storm here is going to be getting that single target damage ability. How long can they wait in this draft to be grabbing that? Because we've seen the Grimstroke get locked in Lacoste time and time again, and they're not building around it. Do you need to see them building around this Grimstroke sooner rather than later?
I'd just like to have one targeted ability.
Honestly, just pick Doom. Just pick Doom right here. Okay. I mean, it's not ideal, but yeah, you have to. I think it was a mistake to not pick something in the second phase in the last game, and that's just one critical error that you have to address.
They need a playmaking hero. But
well, there it is. We talked about that. That is the hero that they value the most relative to any other team at this event. This Fen, they still see it as a flex pick. You will still see Forev run it in the off lane. But this support duo has, if this does end up being their support duo, it's struggled mightily, 1-8 this month.
Oh, that's some rough stats right there.
Not usually a numbers guy, but you can't really run and hide from that one. And J.Storm here, I also do want to ask, Nahaz, in your mind, in the draft, are they looking kind of flat? Are they looking like a one-dimensional team with what they've been picking?
They need to do more with their last 3 picks. I mean, the drafts in this tournament, the opens are all super standard. I mean, when you look at those band statistics that they're putting up, there are like you know, the 4 of the top 5 heroes are supports, and over 80% of their bans, over 90% in 3 of the 5 cases are in the first phase.
Yeah.
So the first phase draft meta is very, very, very condensed. But when you talk about the second phase, it's like J.Storm are not, they're not getting those synergies that you need.
J.Storm are having a problem since they're picking same stuff all over again, and they're not winning games with it. It means that they don't have anything else prepared.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of what I was getting at, right? You know,
old definition of insanity, right?
Just doing the same thing again and again and expecting a different result. I mean, Grimstroke, you know, to me, obviously way less knowledge than you guys. But I see the Grimstroke and I go, why are they trying the same thing again? Why are they opening the same way again when we haven't seen them take a single game in a best of 3 at the entirety of the major, and they are trying the same thing again?
You're going to start the hate on Grimstroke, and it's wrong. This hero is so fun to watch, so fun to play.
I still think it's a great hero, but I do think
I don't
when
hate
you pick it first phase.
I hate Lincoln's.
Why? Too expensive?
It's too expensive. It's a bad item. Because Lacoste said it one time, it just stuck with me. He just started yelling at me. I wasn't even. I'm just sitting there watching the game.
This is also the guy that's telling you not to buy wards and buy Meteor Hammer every game. So maybe you discount that a little bit. I mean, if there's a Doom in the game, you probably want to link it.
Nahaz, I know that you understand stats and numbers and all these things, but wards do not do any damage. Why would you buy them?
I'm just gonna
back that up, Nahaz. You figure that out. Grab a calculator. Tell me how wards do damage.
Lacoste, I hate you. I blame you for that.
He's turning me into the Dota player of everyone's dreams.
I mean, again, same draft, right? Why would you, as Fnatic, do anything different? You know, sub in Earth Spirit for time.
They need to pick some kind of a tower damage, because they couldn't finish the game even with all the advantage that they had. At least Jim is having fun.
Yeah. And Jimmy's like, well, they just picked the same draft. Okay, guys.
So what do you want to see Fnatic actually grab to be able to close this game out in a little bit faster than 53 minutes, especially when they do have their hands on the steering wheel so convincingly?
Yeah, good. Okay, I'm glad that they did this because they can. I was just about to talk about this. They can afford to third pick the puck because, again, it is a flex pick for them.
Okay.
Right. Obviously, very, very confident after that last game. The only bright spot in that last game is going to be that mid matchup, what Bryle was able to do against Abed in the puck versus OD matchup. If the puck does get hard countered at some point, then you turn, because again, Fnatic has shown the safe lane OD look with MP. You can easily move the puck to the off lane in the hands of Frev in response.
Buckle up, boys. We're in for a treat. A replay of the last game coming.
No, I think one of the two teams is going to shove one of those two cores into a different role. I mean, you have to switch things up.
MP is ready for Faceless Void.
If they pick Void here, I'm leaving. I'm just. I'm
Don't you want to see a redemption, like a nice redemption story?
No.
Nah, everybody's going to be very angry if you don't put that diss track out on Twitter.
Oh, my God.
You confidently looked at me. Nahaz, this is like this is the first week that we've really gotten to know each other, and you confidently looked at me and told me you could freestyle a rap.
I can,
all right.
But I will get myself in a lot of, because I'm actually quite vulgar when I do that.
I like the Brewmaster pick. It means that it's going to be a core brew, and the spell against the Sven's Warcry, once he uses Split, it's going to be amazing this game.
Core brew, what are you talking about? Mid-Earth Spirit, bro. No. This will be a 3-position Brewmaster. And again, it is an ice staple.
Okay.
He's holding the papers. We've seen that in True Sight. It was very effective.
Wow. Okay.
You're not a fan of this PA here?
No, I'm generally always going to be a fan of PA when it's picked. It's saying something that we're picking PA into OD, and we're like, yeah, okay, cool. Right? That's not always been the case. It's just, this hero is so value with the way that she can accelerate even with her team from behind. I mean, you saw her farm last game, even with a Timber Saw, just continually on her side of the map. She didn't care.
Does Fnatic have the tower damage that they need yet?
Nope.
Okay. Potentially looking for Fnatic to grab that here.
No, that's their single biggest need as you go into the last year of the draft. I'd love to see them. Yeah, I know that, again, Kyle's going to flame the hell out of me for saying this because the Jug PA matchup is just brutal for Jug. But I'd love to see something like a Juggernaut. Just, forget the hero matchups. Just get something for MP that is strong in lane. He's going to be able to keep his farm up and can hit towers.
Jug is going to be banned. Is there anything else?
Oh, he's banned first phase.
Is there anything? Right. Is there anything else though that can fill that role other than the Jug?
Any easy hero.
Ease of execution. I've heard you guys say that quite a bit.
Ease of execution. There you go.
Yeah, I got your back. I'm not going to flame you like Kyle.
I'm just
assuming
it at this point.
If anyone's going to flame you and you're going to be able to shrug it off, though.
But they could still
just TB, right?
They could, yeah.
I mean, if you're Fnatic and it's not banned, use TB, you eat towers. You could even drow if you really wanted to get, if you want to get fancy.
I was thinking about drow. It's really good against the puck. They need a little bit more control besides their spirit.
They actually ban the
Respect.
Jesus. What am I seeing?
Respect MP. He had 2 in the last game. He was just getting warmed up.
Oh my gosh.
The Fnatic's still gonna have the last pick, and they can kind of react to what Dark's here. All right, so they have a way better combo in this game.
Yep.
Again, no single target spells besides Dagger and Sven's stun. But all right, looking way better for J.Storm in this one.
I agree, although I think either of the picks we mentioned here for Fnatic are brutal.
But already we have progress. Last time Lacoste did not like what J.Storm had at their disposal at all. Now Fnatic, if they get that tower damage, they get that siege damage, maybe.
Surely TB just ruins you. I mean, yeah, okay, you got Puck with this combo. If he goes Dagon, that can threaten, but oof. I guess wall really bothers you if you're TB.
Yeah, you're picking Darkseer into Brewmaster again.
Yeah, I don't.
You can just dispel those illusions.
Exactly. All right, it is better. I looked at J.Storm's lineup in the last game and was like, no, it's better than the last game. He's right.
I feel like we have this phenomenon that I'm just starting to notice on the analyst desk where we watch the draft and you go, yeah, it's fine. They got everything that they need. And then the second we're not live, you're like, man, idiots.
Well, you can't. I mean, you can't anti-hype, right?
They're just slow.
All right, that's not okay. That's not what I thought they were going to do, but that is probably MP's best hero in his career.
Yeah.
Weaver, he is an excellent Weaver player. He's very stable on that hero. It gives you the tower damage. I love it.
Well, yeah, that seems fantastic, right? You just said MP had a rough game. Get him comfortable.
I was thinking about Weaver, but against Puck, against Grimstroke, 2 silences.
You would not ordinarily see it picked into Puck, but I think that's all about you have your one player that just had a seriously rough game. You prioritize getting him on a comfort hero.
Yeah, get him comfortable, let him get back into the game. And also, you do have the wiggle room here. It is a best-of-3 series. If this game doesn't go perfectly to plan, you still do have another one. They have every advantage that they need right now. Is MP going to get comfortable? Are they going to be able to take this in 2-0 fashion? We're about to find out.
I think we've learned our lesson from game 1 of this series. Whenever you think the game is going to go one way, it's going to go the opposite. So even with this draft, it does feel like J.Storm have a lot better sync than they did last time. Grimstroke has options to work with, multiple silences, multiple combinations.
And the 10th pick from Fnatic wasn't nearly as devastating as it was in the previous game. Weaver against PA, Puck, Sven, Grimstroke. There's
burst damage during the silence control.
Burst. Yeah, it also doesn't do that same type of damage where, Forev is going to, I'm praying here, Toby. Neither team had a Vlad's last game. Neither team had a Vlad's. And I'm a caster. I don't know anything. But I know that has not happened in this tournament, I don't believe. Yet.
That
Item is so good.
That in a game that no team has picked up of Vladimir's?
I'd like JJ, hit me with that stat, because I think that might have been the first time.
Yeah,
I didn't recognize it at first.
We'll take anything, JJ. Throw it to us somehow.
Yeah, but this game certainly looks better for J.Storm, just based on their
should have known better.
The way the draft looks, right? You got a Darkseer vac into a March stun. You got a ton of damage output. It just looks good, and there's no Timbersaw. There's no hero that's just going to be able to march down lanes, nigh indestructible. So,
but you have instead from Fnatic this chaos kind of lineup. So that's what the Brewmaster is all about. He's the chaos initiator. He does the initiation off, and then you're able to get your split. If you can get that split, then J.Storm may have a couple of problems in the fight. Remember, there's also the Earth Spirit, better rotations early on. This won't be that static laning phase that we kind of felt previously. They've got that roll-in initiation. Maybe they, with the combinations of silences, Puck may... Actually, I say combinations of silences. There's actually really not that many. Puck is actually really easy to move around in this game. Yeah.
And Bryle did play great in this previous game, even though he was on the losing team. Very rarely would you say that a loser's the MVP, but I think Bryle definitely played the best.
He totally was. Like that, game one, in so many ways, should have been J.Storm's. After Fnatic didn't breach the high ground early on, you're like, okay, this is definitely the way it should be. Are they actually going to trade off 3 bounty runes for 1? Because no one's up on top lane apart from Darkseer.
Nice.
Also, keep in mind the fact that Darkseer is playing the safe lane, so this is the one time you won't actually see Darkseer pulling the wave over to a side camp. This is going to be a straight one-on-one matchup of Dark versus Brew.
I like it because PA really hates laning against Brewmaster, especially if there's a Lich with him.
Yeah.
And that means that you've got Brew, who would just be trading in his own safe lane against Darkseer, and all of a sudden Earth Spirit, he can gank mid and top and potentially find kills. But this is just a better situation for J.Storm. Weaver versus PA, you're pretty confident with this, and Lich, or well, specifically Earth Spirit, not a huge fan of having a tri-lane. He wants to get active.
Yeah. He wants to move in. He wants to actually try and gank up in mid lane and work with Arbed, because that's the other fun lane to watch, is that mid lane, Bryle versus Arbed. Bryle kind of actually just missing the max range rift damage onto Arbed.
To be fair, though, this is very similar to what VP did in their games against, or LGD did against Earth Spirit, where you make sure that your mid hero is formidable, hard to take down. That can be because you have somebody really tanky and
like
fat, like a DK, or you have a Puck, where if you don't have that perfect combination and a couple levels on Earth Spirit, which he's not going to get in the tri-lane, you won't be able to take him out.
Well, there's your Frost Shield going to work against March, but that's also his event. You went Stormbolt level once. They don't have the War Cry. They don't have that extra life, but because you're looking for the chain zones, you're looking for the control. You're ensuring that there's no pull. DJ as well as Jabs are pretty committed to this, so we end up having support combo. Like I feel like we're rinsing and repeating from game one. It's literally the same camp that both teams are fighting over.
Deja vu.
Yep.
What we've actually been here before, very recently.
Now the next thing we have to do is have Arbed massively attack into Bryle and then die underneath the tier 1 tower. And hey, we're redoing it. Yes, will TP into us mid. He's hit level 2, and Arbed is really low. But rolling boulder forward doesn't actually get the connection into the Puck. And there is no follow-up after that, which means now this bottom lane from J.Storm can get very aggressive against the Weaver.
He did salve Abed to preserve Abed's own salve, so that will help him out in the lane. And bear in mind, he's skilled the silence on Earth Spirit, so
they're
he's
going bottom,
aiming for that Puck kill.
Where was the... Oh, he already committed Stormbolt.
Oh, they're going back on again mid. I don't know if you have the damage here, even with the 2-second silence.
Vanish. This time they will be able to connect with the silence, and orb away to safety, back up. And the courier just brought in its Tangos as well as Mango. So he's getting some regeneration back. This top lane appears to be really difficult for Ice. It's 16-3 versus 6-1 on the Brewmaster. Yes, he's got a creep wave coming under the tower, but he's had a real hard time finding the last hits underneath the tower because he has to walk in range of the Iron Shell burn.
I'm not sure if this matchup, I mean, I know this is a Darkseer favorite matchup for the initial few levels, but I don't think it's this bad. This is a very well played matchup by Forev. This is maybe 60-40, but it's certainly not this sort of disparity. He's doubled him up.
It has to be because he's just underneath the tower, right? Like, Ice to 61 damage is having a hard time finding any of the last hits against Forev.
So weird. It's something you used to see way back in the day, like that post TI 5-6 meta where Darkseer was just always in these 1v1s. But we just haven't had a tri-lane meta in so long. I feel like a lot of these matchups and little quirks have been forgotten.
That's how Dota normally changes around.
Yeah.
Brawl, he'll be safe. It's the fact that like you forget the old school counters, and of course, does the old school counters even work? The patches change so much of Dota that it's difficult to know if something that worked 3 years ago in the tri-lane versus tri-lane meta can actually be applied to the current game of Dota.
Yeah, you got a really nice game thus far from J.Storm. Mu is CSing very well, and he is once again the win condition for the side. Should have a much easier time finding a foothold in this game, as they won't be losing 4 towers by 13 minutes again to an indestructible Timbersaw.
And MP's meant to be that big damage dealer for Fnatic. Like, you're not going to get it from the Brewmaster. He's control factor. OD's that I get damage later on once I build up my items and once I build up my intel. Invisru may help him get the kill over on Bryle, as, he has no idea that ES will rolling boulder in. Sven, TPing in, and Bryle really back under the tower on 50 HP. Already starts us out thanks to the Storm Bolt. He can get the Rift off. He'll phase shift, dodge the attack, so he even keeps regenerating through. But first blood spilt by Bryle onto DJ. The TP from March. It looked like it wasn't going to come in time, but it came in time.
Like I said, I question Fnatic's. They third picked Abed's hero again, and this game, instead of Ice, they last picked the MP hero. But I just don't see him as the guy you want to be 22 picking for, right? A Weaver? This is not the greatest matchup in this game. It doesn't really fill the need of the draft, and it just feels like a bit of a throwaway. I don't like this pick. And I think if Fnatic would edit their draft in the event this does go to Game 3, maybe I want to see them focus on Abed or Ice. These seem to be the superstars. MP, you can give him the throwaway. Like, pick him Void first too, no problem, like eHome's apt to do.
You help him by banning Void. I also just want to flag the fact that if Darkseer moved over to the Bounty Rune, maybe 2 seconds earlier, he would have got the bottle and would have been able to pick up the 5-minute Bounty Rune. It was not grabbed. I think there are almost no games in this tournament where we haven't seen like the level 1 bounties all being collected. Mu needs some space to be created. Fear's trying to do so, as ES is the one diving underneath the tower, and they could dive now after Fear. Mu is back in relative safety. Support was rotating in from the side, but March was just a little bit too far away. We'll end up just stealing the Arcane Rune and running away from DJ, trying to use the cover of night to find a kill.
Mid matchup still pretty even. We got a little bit of a skirmish in the jungle, but that's just March throwing out a stun, no problem. Top lane.
Forev's doing the pull now.
Yep. I like the build too. I think Boots, Bottle, Soul Ring, a lot of build up, but in this kind of laning phase, I like it just because it means that he can farm it as efficiently as possible without
going again on mid. Abed got up the hill, kicked away, which means he also kind of snapped a bit. But March, as well as Bryle, just unable to get the kill secure. Enough support, both supports coming into mid lane to protect their OD, ensuring he has as best lane as possible. And OD is 4th on the net worth. He is pretty equal. He's about 100 gold net worth, the difference between the puck. There's the top 2 net worths, I think, is the scarier thing. Darkseer at 3,300, 3K on the PA, and Weaver, you're going further down the list to find him at 2.5.
I'd like to see him go for an offensive build on the Darkseer. He's queued up the pipe. I'd much rather see like almost the tied items we've been looking at, like Vlad's medallion. I like HOD a lot in this game.
You actually group up for a fight. Like, because if you get Vlad's, you just iron shot the PA right, and then you start your fights.
It's also more of an aggressive build, right? Pipe is nice, but what's it for? The Earth Spirit Lich ultis, I get that, but I feel like that could be something conserved for the 3rd or 4th item choice, so that you pick something up now that helps your team claim objectives. And
they're going to try and kill MP on bottom lane. Silences are out. There's a 2-man smoke also moving in, but if they have enough stuns, they'll just kill Weaver straight out. That's exactly what happens. Sentry Ward was planted, and March and Browne's rotation, they really wanted to be involved, but they're too late to the party.
Yeah, and props to Fear. I mean, they pick him Grimstroke pretty much whenever available, and he does know how to play the hero. Love the skill build this game. Put the 2nd point into Silence. I appreciate it, because I think against a Weaver, against an OD, against Earth Spirit, against all of the heroes of Fnatic, like long silences are key,
Yep.
and that's what's actually going to help you find those kills.
All right, so Fnatic are now the ones who have to try and steady the lanes. This PA is getting well out of control. That late Battle Fury timing ain't going to come. He's got 2 Wraith Bands and the Treads by 8.5 minutes in, and now he starts itemizing towards the Battle Fury.
Yeah, there's a much better game for Moo, and based on the way these teams played last game, I'm starting to really favor J.Storm. Now, the OD, once again, Abed is the key for his squad. It's just a difficult game. We saw, even though Moo had a really rough time in the previous game, he was still able to kill him through BKB even, and just a couple of crits. And you have that same scenario here.
Is SSI actually going to find this fight in mid? Also flag the fact that is it Dominator build? Like, what are we...
On ice? On who? Brew?
Yeah,
That's,
he's just...
That's the new boots.
It's the new boots?
Yeah,
Okay,
phase boots.
cool. So he is... I was worried about it. He does have 2 of the items for the Dominator, that's what I was questioning.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it, but yeah, I like phase. You want to look to start some fights early. I really enjoy the Sven pick from J.Storm, and I know that that's something they've been doing a lot, but I'm much more a fan of it when March is on the hero. I think that Grimstroke Sven in particular is their best support duo, and I feel like this is J.Storm's comfort zone, and Fnatic effectively just handed it to them. This is what I hate to see. If you're a Fnatic fan, you've got to be a little worried when DJ just hasn't managed to find game impact.
Oh, the fight in mid. Bryle looking for this solo kill onto the OD. He knows he can't snap the Dream Coil, or else he will die, but that's why Darkseer actually kicked closer by the ES, allowing him to come to this fight. And with the Storm Bolt, maybe they have the damage. Puck being pulled in by that Sinister Gaze, but now another banishment. Bryle's in very deep. Does he have an escape? No, he does not. The clap is there for the Brewmaster, and support just comes in droves from Fnatic.
Yeah, I think if 4F TP's there to get the Ion Shell on March, that's going to go a little bit better. He instead connects all the way from top lane, and now is going to run all the way back. So not ideal. They do only lose the 1 hero, but it is Bryle. He's the playmaker at this point, but you're fine, I think. Jace, you got Moose still just hard free farming.
Oh, Moo, initiated on by ISISI. Sphere is going to be here. Moo hoping for a crit to save his life, but hasn't happened. The stun will buy him a little bit more time. Still no crits. Rolling boulder forward from DJ, kicking away ISISI, buying him the time and even the time to get the split off. This is the worst case scenario when you initiate on a Brewmaster, when he's able to get the split after soaking up all the abilities. They still want to kill off PA. Difficult to find, but the stuns are there. DJ, another rolling boulder forward. Just hold the PA in position, but there goes March into the northern side, but the kick and the clap. Too much work. ISISI comes back to his normal self. He may die for this, but he's already got the big kill he was looking for. It's the Phantom Assassin down.
That was really well played by Fear and Moo, just spamming out those silences. Moo with a little, just not enough trust in his teammate, though. He hesitated on that leap forwards. If he finally did get that crit on a couple of attacks, he would have been able to land the kill before Ice got that split off. March not positioning himself perfectly, a little too close, wavered a bit, and that leap from Moo was just not far enough to get away from that clap after split ended. Well played from both sides. 4F does TP down, but a bit late. They do find the kill. Top lane, however, you've got a free farming OD now entering that lane uncontested, and he will be going for a more offensive build this game. The Tranquils into the Kaya. I like this. This is Abed. You're your team superstar. You know, don't gimp yourself. 4-staff BKB, it's nice, but these games are gonna go late.
Yep.
Plan for it. Prepare.
I'm liking this with Moo. Iron Shell him up. He's got a double damage rune. The Dire Observer Ward. Saw DJ for a moment. He wants to jump. He doesn't want to waste this DD timing by farming up camps. Reveals himself by doing it underneath that Radiant Obs. And you're already seeing ES in a very defensive position. Same for MP.
But they know, like, no one's showing middle, and the puck is top. There's something fishy, and Fnatic knows it.
4 heroes from VGJ on bottom lane. Very heavily telegraphed. Bed will now move to the mid.
The ward, by the way, in the lane does help them. It's not just a guess. They kind of see him wandering through the woods.
Yeah. Moo's actually just going to go jungle now. He's, okay, was he? Or was he just trying to stack? That's what. And actually failed the stack. Timing was a little bit off.
That's okay.
Interesting move by Forev. Actually, he puts down the wall gets a copy of the Weaver, and then almost killed the Courier with it.
Yeah, and this, I mean, since we have a bit of a downtime, like, acceleration, Toby, it's so key in this patch. And when you do things like 4ev is walking around, he had his great start, and now he's got a hood, he's going to be rushing pipe. I just wish he had something that enabled him to pressure the map more. He could have had HOD at like 8 minutes.
Yep.
You're trying to push this tower, you could have a catapult. If you want to play this way, away from your team.
And that was something we saw Faith Beyond running yesterday. Top lane, the silencers, as well as the chain stuns, make it very difficult for Ice to find this, in fact, impossible.
Yep, Fear with the perfect build. 1 point Stroke of Fate, 3 point Silence, 2 point as well.
Now we'll see if that Hood's able to save him. He starts his surge, but Sinister Gaze pulls him back in, wastes a lot of the time, but even the Chain Frost, they want to find this kill. Forev continues to run up, but the Magnetize, another rock placed down, and Forev will tick out. All that sustainability seems to count for naught. Maybe Moo can get a revenge. No, Jabs is already beginning his TP away.
Hey, make some space though. Bryle already with the blink. Skip the Veil this time. Right choice. There's not nearly as much magic damage. You replace the Venomancer with a Darkseer. So he's just going to go for that Blink bots build and do what he did last game. You know, just spam, just push lanes.
Well, they're going after Moo. Rolling Boulder to the kickback into the hammer. But then Warcry. Marsh tries to create some space. Bryle as well has Dream Call available. They're trying to give Moo a blink spot, and that's exactly what happens. But the ult from Arbet follows through. Bryle still is very uncertain. He wants to fight this, but with the Weaver arriving, he'll get the bugs onto the Punk. This makes it very difficult to use that Blink Dagger of his. He'll have to get the Dream Call with the wall. They have some kind of combination, but Punk instantly brought back. He jumped onto the edge of his coil. That's why he's already back in the middle of this fight. Yeah, we're not going to forget this one. But then a rolling boulder forward. Grimstroke has nowhere to go. J.Storm committing heavily on the economy to try and win this fight. But it just ain't happening. So the run for the bounty runes begins. And all 4 actually go the way of J.Storm. I don't think that's enough to make up for what happened. And they're going to go for another kill. Stormbolt over on the Weaver. This intel of Arbet, 24 stolen intel. He hits so hard, they just want one target. March will present himself as Darkseer can surge away. Chain killing from Fnatic.
This is what you're looking for if you're supporting Fnatic. Arbet, #1 net worth, scaling, looking good, and oh man, that's what I'm looking for too. Ice with the Vlads, baby. That's what I'm talking about. And the tower denied. That's all because of the bonus 15% damage. You already know.
I don't think you actually realized I was trying to bait you a little bit more with the Dominator just to make sure. He's like, oh, he's not going to go Vlads.
No. The thing is, so that buyback, yeah, it's costly, but really, that one bounty rune, yeah, you pay for it with your own gold, but as a team, it's even if you just get that one bounty. So even though that was very Fnatic favored, the gold itself did not change. Experience, on the other hand, that's where you've got a bit of a worry because all of a sudden the OD is level 13. Yep. Maxed out Orb, maxed out Astral, and he's got a Blink Dagger ready. Great choice from Abed. It allows him. This is pure offense. He's not that threatened. J.Storm not in a position where they're really looking to hunt at the moment.
Well, J.Storm are going to do it. Bottom lane is where the initiation comes in, but it comes from Fnatic. They've already killed off Fear. Now they're moving forward with Warcry. They want to actually trigger everything they've got to find this kill, but it's over on an Earth Spirit. Earth Spirit for Grimstroke. Moo's here. He can't jump forward. They're not close enough to him. Now he can. And they do find the kill. This is Forev trying to make the most of the pipe, but there's been no opportunity to really use it because there's a split push. Ice is forcing him the top lane. OD actually took a tower in mid lane.
And check out the items as well. Ice is buying a Midas. If he gets this tower, he'll have enough gold for it too. And you got to be concerned. This is a different take from the last game. Fnatic, my man Dubu.
Bottom. They're coming in. MP runs in through the back. He didn't actually start off with the Swarm, which is kind of surprising. The Chain Frost doesn't bounce over. It only hits Forev once, but they have the stun. They have the control. Forev, the whole surge has just been weighted. He'll throw down a Darkseer wall, but it will not be able to help him at all. With Arbed rotating over, this is now going to be momentum shifting in to a tier 1 tower. And actually, they caught Grimstroke with the end of the Brewmaster ulti. He used the Storm Brewing to send Fear up into the air. 2 heroes gone. And J.Storm, with their itemization, they want to be stronger in these team fights, but they look to be so much weaker.
I've got to put, this is one of the benefits of having a coach. I don't know what Dubu did, but all of a sudden, Fnatic has completely, radically changed the way they itemize and most importantly, what timing I feel like they're looking to end the game. It's no longer 20, 25 minutes. They're perfectly fine going late. And sure, you're up against a PA. It could be troublesome, but all 3 of these cores are going to scale. They're going to ramp up fast.
I think you're very right. You look at MP's itemization, Diffusal Blade, and now he just is like, okay, I'm going to get Maelstrom after this.
Yeah.
We're just like, what did I fail in the last game? I have no damage. What am I going to potentially overcompensate for is now damage in this game. Moo trying to juke around the tree lines, not going to be possible. Abed building up too much intel underneath the Dire Shrine. Fnatic having this confidence with a Blink Dagger OD with Kaya. He is just always on the front lines.
Yeah, and this is, like, again, like I like the players on Fnatic. I think they're a great team. I just feel like they have the potential to be elite, and thus far in this season, they haven't really had that standout stellar performance.
Well, it's like you put an All-Stars lineup together. It's like, you know, these All-Stars need a function.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, like, they're All-Stars in their own roles. It's not like you've got that extra 1 position. There's not overcompensation, like, oh, there's too many heroes that need farm, too many players that need farm in this.
Yeah,
like, they can make the most of nothing.
And they outplayed J.Storm that last game for the first 20, 25 minutes. The strategy from the American side was effectively, hey, we're going to wait in our base. And for a little bit, it seemed like it might work, but this is what I like. Look at look at the net worth on Abed. He's going to have a BKB about the same time he had it last game, but this time he's got that bonus item. And because you have the bonus item now, it means you'll have 2 bonus items in about 15 minutes. That's why you got to start saving for retirement now, kids. Don't wait until your 30s, all right? You will want to be on a beach when you're old and gray. So start putting away. You know, $20 even. $20 a month is a big deal.
I can recommend Australian beaches. There's cheap accommodation. Great place to retire.
$20 a month actually is not.
Yeah,
it's better than nothing.
You may need a little bit more than that. Maybe Australia is not your best place. Australia is actually a little bit more expensive to live in these days. It's like,
you know what my favorite toy was as a kid? A cardboard box. You could probably afford one of those.
My favorite. Oh no, I'll make everyone jealous if I say that. It was my backyard. My backyard was my favorite toy.
I don't want to think about growing up in Australia. It's too dangerous.
Natural selection. Only the best live through Australian youth.
Aren't kangaroos the most dangerous creatures too? Like
only if you're driving.
Like the deer of the southern hemisphere.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, so this is the thing. A passive game now favors Fnatic a hell of a lot more than it did in the previous one.
But they still don't want to stop. They're going to get aggressive. They smirk up. They look for a fight.
I like again, they're not forced to do these things. I like that they're doing so, but it's nice because they aren't the ones pressured. They don't feel like they're on a clock. However, because they have that brew, because you have a BKB on OD, you're at a timing where you are the stronger lineup. You can assert dominance over the map, much like they did in that first game.
And they're hunting for it. DJ just needs the spot, rolling Boulder forward. He'll reach close to Fear, but not right on top of him. He'll still get the Magnetize, just shaking the ears of March and the Chain Frost. They want to split up, but it's going to bounce up into the creep wave as well. There's a counter silence into the ES. So Fnatic, it wasn't the initiation they were really looking for, and they will fall back. Weaver needs to kind of de-push the bottom lane.
Yep.
And that's a big cooldown. Magnetize down for the ES now gives J.Storm the confidence to move forward
Courier's got OD's BKB on it. You do not want to take this fight until it's acquired.
Oh, then again, they found the puck. Jump down. Man, destroyed. You got to remember just how hard a Brewmaster can actually hit with just his base damage, but it's that brawler. Critical chance of 80%, the critical damage of 260 on someone who has 145 damage, 136 damage, sorry.
Moo right now is going for the Desolator. He is not going to have a BKB, so if you're a Fnatic, I think you might want to recognize this and know, like, this is your target. 1,200 health, you go for Roche, you know that J.Storm is not able to fight, and this time, look at it, we got Weaver, we got Minus Armor, we got a Vlad's. Like, this is a lot faster.
You notice that MP changed his build?
What did he turn it to?
He's going for BKB.
I don't mind that here because you're at a point where you're strong. You're going to outscale and you're strong enough to go find fights. And if you look at the lineup of J.Storm, what do they have to puncture BKBs with the exception of Moo's damage, who you've got to assume will be the Fnatic target?
Yeah.
And also Lich. Like, Lich is just the ultimate anti-carry support. 60% reduction on that physical damage. Like, it's going to be very difficult for them to find a kill, even if they do land that crit.
This is like kind of weird though. Like OD is showing himself up on top. So if J.Storm felt like they wanted to fight, they could go that way. But J.Storm, they don't have Darkseer with them. They don't have their teamfight initiator. And I kind of put it on him. It's not just on Bryle, who still wants to get his heal scepter before he fights. J.Storm are just a little bit short of the money to get these critical items to feel more confident in the fight. So because the push from OD, they just rotate top, and these will be 2 tier 2 towers dropping after the Aegis the Immortal
and it's
was already picked up.
Even though they take the towers a little slower than the previous game, it still feels better. You feel that there's a flow. Fnatic, they controlled the map in the last game, but it didn't feel like they knew what to do with it. Whereas now, it's just nice. And J.Storm, you're not out of this by any means, but you're still a ways away from that Phantom Assassin BKB. I think if you're Fnatic, look for a smoke move, try and catch someone off guard, find that kill. Puck down in the astral plane with no orb.
MP, silence up on top. You're also going to get the kill on Puck in the mid lane. If Weaver could survive this, remember he's still got the Aegis Immortal, but he wants to time-lapse off so much of the damage. Darkseer wall is gone.
Yeah, you just
Puck
push.
is gone. This is, yeah, you go up.
You've got split, remember.
Brewmaster has a BKB coming in on the courier too. So even if they want to try and kill off Ice, he can ensure he gets his split.
Yeah, and that means he's able to zone now for so long. He can pop BKB and then later the split.
Here's the rolling boulder coming forward. They turn on the Magnetides, combining with the Chain Frost. No way for J.Storm to walk away from the fight. They're even tipping in the middle of the engagements. Sure, Jabs. They will take this top. They'll take the top lane of Rax. Nothing should stop this. PA does not want to join the fights yet. You still haven't even finished up the Desolator, and in fact, wait, he's switching back in for a BKB. Oh, he's got the Desolator on the Courier. He needs to TP back and pick that up.
It's just crisp game from Fnatic. They're making it look easy right now. That melee Rax is dead.
PA is still not here. It is 4v very farm, and even the BKB from OD. He'll dodge anything they throw their way. Brewmaster hasn't even committed the split yet. He crits down the Puck, who's dead again, and PA joins the fight and then instantly dies, exploded by the hammer of OD. Is this even the full game now? They're falling apart at J.Storm. I mean, what has happened?
Abed's got a meteor hammer. That's what's happened. They are.
Lacoste will be happy.
They are not concerned any longer. And this is the Fnatic I expect to see when I show up to cast some goddamn Dota 2. Thank you.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Aggressive jump forward, getting in the front of it. Even the rolling boulder, the stun time with the meteor hammer, perfectly combated against Fear. Abed's got 40 stolen intelligence. He doesn't care about Darkseer illusions. You don't need Brewmaster to dispel this crap. You just need Abed to just beat through all of them, kick back in the Darkseer. He'll go down. Maybe now you should start dealing. Stop walking through the wall, guys. March still wants to try and fight. They're ignoring him. He's actually just walking with them. Ice was doing objective-based Dota in the meantime. Now the OD will fall, and Fnatic, okay, you've overcommitted. You just gave a double kill to Moo, over 1.2k gold from this. They still took a lane and a half worth of frags, melee on both of them. Ice is in a little bit of trouble. He needs to create some space for his Brewmaster to get away, and he's able to do so.
You know what Fnatic hit? You know what I love? They hit a timing, Toby. They had 3 BKBs that all came online within 2.5 minutes of it. They have an Aegis. They've got a Vlad's. They go high ground. You can't kill anyone because you don't have a BKB on your core, and there's no damage to threaten anyone on the side of Fnatic once they pop that magic immunity. And all of a sudden, Fnatic is unstoppable. They get the 2 racks. It took them twice as long to do that in the previous game, and this is what I want to see them do when they go forwards in the tournament against harder matchups. Not to say this game is over, of course. Anything could happen.
It really could. That's why I'm kind of worried. Like, we were there in game 1. We were being a little bit negative because we're like, okay, this game looks dumb. We don't see a way back.
That game was dumb. All right, I'm sorry. I got to call it like it is.
Do it.
That was a rough game of Dota, okay? There were a lot of questions I'm asking.
But this game is there seems to be more smooth stuff, and that's why I'm worried about like Fnatic giving away these kills. They actually gave the money to Mu to have the BKB. It's coming on the courier now. A Yule Scepter on the puck. They actually managed to find the money on Bryle. Then they smoke. They want the initiation. Ice comes in close. He blinks. He claps. Instantly BKBs and J.Storm in the middle. Now with a Chain Frost. Marsh, he'll back away and at least get rid of this, but the Darkseer Wall's almost nothing. But it's the damage to come in from Mu. He almost killed off the OD, but he can't jump over to him. Not while the BKB's up, and the Eclipse hits it with the Storm Bolt, but Mu jumps up with the cleave damage. He's doing heavy damage to Fnatic, but they've still only killed off the Lich. They need really more ES or Rolling Boulder away. Okay, he stuck around way too long with the Meteor Hammer, trying to hit with that. And there's 2 heroes down for VG J.Storm. Mu still needs to be big with the follow-up stun. He'll go down, and they really threw everything they had. Fear is the sole survivor. There's some revenge to come in with 3 heroes dying, but interesting choice to let the Meteor Hammer go. MP's damage, it reigns true and supreme at the end of the day.
And this is because Fnatic, you have 3 cores. You have 3 ways to deal massive amounts of damage. You can see Ice, he blinks into 5, pops BKB, and they have to just ignore him completely as he wreaks havoc on the backlines. You have a buyback on Fear, but
it's the opposite of game 1 from Fnatic. We got all this damage as opposed to we got all this survivability.
It's amazing how much.
Itemization can make you good.
Offense.
And then they can even find the double damage rune that's sitting in bottom river and give that to MP. It's not going to be them pushing high ground. In fact, the next timing you're probably going to be starting to think about is Roshan, who's a minute and 15 seconds away from potential spawn time. They've already taken the tier 2 tower on bottom. They got 1 more shrine to remove. This will ensure that VG J.Storm, there is no buybacks that will help contest Roshan. They don't have him anyway because they're short of money or it's on cooldown.
And to go to the 10th pick Weaver, I said why I don't like it at the start of the game, why I like it. It is MP's best hero, and it hit the timing. That's the key. Yes, in the mega late game, an Abyssal PA could theoretically just crit you to death, right? But if you're able to threaten high ground and consistently fight with your team at this 20 to 25 minute mark, you are a beast.
They're coming to fight. Radiant scan. They understand that no one's coming down. They're going to wrap around the top instead. J.Storm in the cover of this smoke. And DJ, he's sitting on the tree lines. He wants to break the smoke himself. No, he'll Rolling Boulder up. But eyes do turn towards Roshan. Still 20 seconds before he potentially can spawn. Park.
Obi-Wan's on the high ground, Toby. I don't know how this ends.
Oh, that BKB. Ice. Instantly pumping in towards March. They orb themselves away. Mu, he wanted to actually jump in. He was using the stun that was from Grimstroke, but he never got it off. DJ will Rolling Boulder in. The defensive imprisonment from Arbed will buy more time and just flags himself. They want to go for the kill. DJ Rolling Boulder out. The Vac won't pull him back in. In fact, DJ does get up the hill and then, well, he'll die. Buybacks there, but Arbed built up so much intelligence. The hammer drop, it hurts so hard, and the PA has almost no life. In fact, it is no life. Gets immolated down by Ice. Jump forward, Rolling Boulder, no stun, will not be able to reach the retreating VG J.Storm players. Fear will get his own TP out. Blind, off target. But top lane, that's the one that counts. Bryle down, Mu down. J.Storm won't be able to contest Roshan, even though he's a long spawn timer. Maybe Fnatic just go up high ground.
And the thing about it, this game, J.Storm, you're in a position, like, you don't have a GPM talent on 4Ev. You've got a pipe and a mech, and yeah, that's great, but you're not scaling. You're not going to finish another item before this game ends, most likely. And yeah, you can sit in your base, but Fnatic, you've got a lot more DPS this time. They look ready to close this out.
And they can beat through these buildings really quickly. Like, the damage from the Weaver is already ridiculously good. And they just got to keep the creep wave pushed through in the mid. Very easy to do when they got the bigger creeps. And the top lane will come in too. They'll fortify, but that's a huge wave coming in through top. So Fnatic, they won't worry about this backdoor regeneration. It's only the fortification that delay the fight. Ice will be a frontliner with an extra plate mail on him. He's just so thick and tanky as this Brewmaster. A lot of padding for the winter. But now with the courier over the top of Roshan, they still don't want to go back. But they will. They'll give respect to J.Storm. Without Brewmaster split, they won't take the fight.
Yeah, 18K, 32 minutes in. The right play from Fnatic. You're at a point where if you play properly, you will win the game. You can only throw, right? So kill the shrines, wait for next stages, push a couple lanes, Go bottomless 5 once you finish all your core items. This is the way you close it out if you want to be an elite level team. And in the meantime, Roche isn't up. We'll just camp high grounds. It worked last time. It'll continue to work. This is all you got to do. Look at the positioning. Still, ice, ice, ice. Now with the plate mail as well, you're not going to kill him. And this is all you've got to do.
Yep.
Just chill.
Wait for him to come. In fact, they're not even looking to do Roshan. They don't want to be caught out in the pit. J.Storm will have to walk underneath this Radiant Observer ward. They bought the gem on Fear to try and get some extra information. Oh, that silence from Bryle. A little bit too far out. Nice Ice Ice gets a 3-man clamp into BKB. The Darksteel wall committed very early on. They'll try and get rid of the illusions. It's just rolling Boulder away, up to safety, up to the hill, the Dream Call, catching 3. But where's the follow-up? The triple stifling daggers all get wasted on the Brewlings.
Yep.
They don't have the team fight anymore.
You can't fight into this lineup.
They find Sven, drop him down. March just gets obliterated. Everyone was there. Even the MKB is completed over on the Weaver, so they'll add that up and stop walking through Darkseer walls. Look for a different target. Forev may be it. Brewmaster set him up. Jabs is low, but there goes. You hammer down. Moo will BKB, but he lost 80% of his life before he even got that off. Forev is running back underneath his tier 4 towers. The only safe place he feels, but MP's got the distance, but he doesn't have the speed. Puck is keeping the creep wave out in mid. DJ is looking at him. He's not even casting an ability. Bryle is dropping items, trying to force him to fight underneath the creep wave. That's his null talismans, and DJ's doing the same thing. You want this? You can't have this. Bottom lane's going down in the meantime. At least there's a little bit of crap and giggles coming in, but with the Chain Frost and the pullback, MP and Jabs easily pull it off. Now back to the fight. Puck, well, okay, he was back and then he was gone. Moo's looking for damage, not available. MP is a triple kill, and GG, well played. Fnatic will 2-0 the series. They managed to knock out J.Storm during the KL Major 2-1. This one, it definitely wasn't as clean, but on the scoreboard it will be cleaner. 2-0.
And you can see a lot more joy in the team's face after this performance in comparison to the last one.
Well,
Ice is actually wearing a smile instead of a
You see
grimace.
Jabs at the end. He knew what he was doing. It's like, yo,
Yeah.
guys, like, we're having some fun. We know
And-
we got this game in the bag.
And the thing is, like, the Earth Spirit in that, he has a pipe and a Vanguard, 2700 HP, double bracer. He looks like he's out of position. I don't know if you click him or not. That's nearly 3k HP. His team is close enough to follow up. Just really well executed. J.Storm, you know, a good performance. They won a game against a team a lot of people didn't think they should have been forward to make it to this round, but you got to do a lot of work. You got to work on the versatility. And my final word on this is shout out to Dubu. I have not seen a turnaround from a team like to go from look. It felt like they were wandering through the woods, and Dubu just is like, "Yo, guys, take this flashlight, please." And it's a lot easier to find the victory.
It was flashlight and map. They could find their way out of the woods. They could see the way to victory. Played it beautifully. They'll advance through to the next round, lower bracket round 3, where they'll play up against the winner of the next game. Now that will be a hard game. Fnatic, hold on to the torch. You're going to need it for the next round, but congratulations, a 2-0 victory.